The celebrated Turkish singer Güllü, widely known by her stage name Güllü, died early Friday after falling from the balcony of her sixth-floor apartment in the northwestern city of Yalova, local authorities said. She was a beloved voice in Turkish music, known for her unforgettable vocals and heartfelt performances that became the soundtrack to many lives throughout the 1990s. To many, Güllü was not simply a singer. She was a cultural icon, a symbol of a generation that grew up with her music filling their homes, wedding halls, and radios. Her passing marks the end of an era and leaves behind a silence that feels impossible to fill. The tragedy occurred in the early hours of September 26, 2025, on Vali Aka Street in the Harmanlar neighborhood of Yalova, a city known for its calm atmosphere and sea views. It was in this serene environment that one of Turkey's most recognizable voices took her last breath. According to reports, the fall happened around 1:28 a.m., and neighbors who heard the commotion immediately called for help. Police and emergency medical teams rushed to the scene, sirens piercing through the night as they raced to reach her apartment building. But by the time paramedics arrived, it was already too late. Güllü was pronounced dead at the scene, her life cut short in an instant. Witnesses described a heartbreaking sight that will likely remain in their memories for years to come. Her body was carefully transferred to the Yalova Training and Research Hospital morgue, where forensic experts were tasked with examining the circumstances surrounding her death. For many, the idea that such a vibrant, spirited artist could be gone so suddenly was almost too much to comprehend. News spread quickly across Turkey, first through local media outlets and then exploding across social media platforms, where fans, fellow musicians, and public figures expressed their shock and grief. The hashtag #TobiYerGullu became one of the top trending topics in Turkey within hours, as admirers shared favorite performances, music videos, and personal stories about how her songs had touched their lives. Her daughter was the first member of the family to confirm the devastating news publicly. She took to social media, writing through tears, "We lost my mother, the renowned artist Güllü, in a terrible accident tonight. There is no truth to the suicide reports going around on social media. I will share details about the funeral soon." Her words sought to put an end to the flood of speculation that had begun circulating almost immediately after the news broke. Within minutes of the announcement, thousands of comments began to appear under the post, expressing condolences and offering prayers for the grieving family. Some of the messages came from fans who had grown up listening to Güllü's music and credited her with shaping their love for Turkish pop and folk music. Authorities were quick to back the family's statement, hoping to quiet the growing chatter and conspiracy theories online. In a joint statement released by the Yalova Governor's Office and the Narsuk Police Department, officials clarified that Güllü had been at home with her daughter and a close friend at the time of the incident. They said there were no immediate signs of foul play and emphasized that the initial investigation pointed toward a tragic accident rather than an intentional act. Still, they confirmed that the public prosecutor's office had opened a formal investigation to determine the exact circumstances of the fall. They assured the public that every angle would be examined thoroughly, both out of respect for Güllü's legacy and to provide her family with clear answers. The announcement did little to ease the sense of collective grief sweeping across the nation. For many, Güllü was more than a singer. She was a companion during late-night heartbreaks, a celebratory voice during weddings, and a comforting presence on the airwaves during times of national hardship. Her music was known for its emotional depth and sincerity, qualities that allowed her to transcend generations. She often sang about love, loss, betrayal, and perseverance, topics that resonated deeply with her listeners. In the 1990s, she became a household name, her albums selling in the hundreds of thousands, and her concerts drawing massive crowds. Even those who were too young to experience her music in its prime had likely heard her songs played by parents or relatives, ensuring that her influence continued long after her peak years. Fellow artists and members of Turkey's music community were quick to pay tribute to her. Messages poured in from singers, songwriters, and producers who had worked with her or been inspired by her career. Some shared behind-the-scenes anecdotes of her kindness and generosity, describing her as someone who always encouraged younger artists and treated everyone with respect, regardless of their status in the industry. One fellow performer wrote, "She had a voice that could make you cry even if you didn't understand the words. That is how powerful her emotion was. Losing her feels like losing a part of our musical soul." Fans, too, held spontaneous vigils in several cities, gathering with candles, photos, and portable speakers playing her most beloved songs. In Yalova, dozens of people came to the street outside her apartment building to leave flowers and say prayers. Some were seen weeping, while others stood silently, perhaps still in shock that someone who seemed so full of life just days earlier was now gone. The mood was one of quiet mourning, but also of gratitude for the joy she had brought into their lives. Her influence extended beyond music. She had appeared on television shows, given motivational interviews, and spoken publicly about topics such as resilience and staying true to oneself, making her a role model to many. As more details about her final hours emerge, a clearer picture of that night may help her fans find closure. For now, the focus remains on remembering the legacy she leaves behind. Gullu's music catalog continues to trend on streaming platforms, with fans revisiting classics that once dominated the charts. Many say they hear the lyrics differently now, with a deeper appreciation for the passion she poured into her work. Her funeral, expected to draw crowds from across Turkey and possibly neighboring countries, will likely be a moment of national mourning and celebration of her life. Those close to her have described Güllü as someone who lived life with intensity. She loved deeply, performed with every fiber of her being, and gave everything to her fans. Friends have said that even when she faced personal struggles, including health problems and professional challenges, she maintained a fierce determination to keep performing and creating music. They recall her infectious laughter, her warm presence, and her ability to make people feel seen and heard. That is why her death has left not just a void in Turkish music, but also in the hearts of those who knew her personally. For her daughter, this loss is immeasurable. Beyond being a famous artist, Güllü was a mother, a guiding light, and a source of strength. In her post, her daughter hinted at plans to ensure that her mother's legacy is honored, perhaps through a foundation or music scholarship. Fans have already expressed interest in contributing to such initiatives, eager to keep her memory alive for future generations. The grief is collective, but it is also deeply personal for those who saw themselves in her songs and her struggles. In the coming days, as the investigation continues and the family makes arrangements for her final farewell, the outpouring of love shows no signs of slowing down. People from all walks of life, from taxi drivers who played her music on long shifts to students who discovered her through old recordings, are sharing what she meant to them. It is a reminder of the profound connection that can form between an artist and their audience, a bond that does not end with death, but continues in every note sung, every lyric remembered, every emotion relived. Güllü's passing is a tragic accident, but her life was a testament to art's enduring power to move, heal, and unite. As Turkey mourns, it also celebrates her incredible contribution to its cultural history. The night she died may have been dark, but her voice, preserved in countless recordings and etched in the memories of millions, will continue to shine like a guiding light for years to come.